Welcome to Bethlehem Institute of Engineering. Bethlehem Institute of Engineering is affiliated to Anna University, Chennai and approved by AICTE, New Delhi. This institution was established in the year 2008.
Good morning. Myself, I am Jagan from Mechanical Department. Now I am going to explain the topic of design of spring. First, you have know the things about the spring. The spring has to be defined by it is a elastic body which deflects under the application of law and restore the original shape by removal of force is called as spring. Spring means it absorb the energy while we are applying the external force, and it regains its original shape when we are removing the load and give the external force. Okay, it store the energy and release when we are needed. For example, the bike side stand. Okay, this is, so it is elastic in nature, so it regains its original shape when we are applying the force. It tends to expand or contract. Then when we remove the load, it regains its the original position. So this is known as the spring. The function of spring, so absorb or control the energy due to the entire shock and vibrations. So it is main function is absorb the energy in the shock and vibrations. For example, in two wheelers, the front and back side near to the wheel, there is a shock absorber. So it is used to absorb the shocks in the roads while the vehicle is running. The shocks can be absorbed by using the shock absorber. In the shock absorber, there is a open coil helical spring is there. Okay. Then also vibrations also absorbed. Then second one function of the spring is apply the forces for in the in the two wheelers brakes. The force can be applied by using the springs only. Then measure the forces. That means the force measurements also is to by the springs also. Then control motions in clutches the springs are used. Then fifth one, store the energy as in watches and toys. For example, some toys there the keys are there. Okay. Then the while we are giving the key, it absorb or store the energy. Then while we are releasing the key, the energy will be released. The toys will be working. So these are the main function. First one, absorb the shocks and vibration. Second one, while the when applying the forces. Third one, measure the forces. Then fourth one, control motions. Fifth one, store the energy. For example, in watches and toys. So these are the main functions of the spring. Okay. Then application of spring. The springs are applied in shock absorber, railway buffers, then brakes, clutches, spring loader valve, then watches, then engine components, then the clamping force in jigs and fixture. So these are the application of the springs. The springs are mainly used these things are the. Next one, the classification of spring. The springs are classified into the following categories: helical spring, spiral spring, leaf spring, believable spring, volute spring. In helical spring also divided into two versions. That means compression or tension. Then the leaf spring has three types: elliptical, semi-elliptical, and cantilever. So these are the classification of the spring. Okay, first one, helical spring. The wire of cross section may be circular in the helical spring, and sometimes they may be square and rectangular, depending on the type of loading and the deflection. So, depending on the loading condition, the shape may be different. Okay, and the load applied on the spring along the axis of the helix, the major stress induced in the spring is torsional shear stress. So, this is the major stress induced in the helical spring is torsional. In the helical spring has mainly two types, and helical compression spring, helical tension, then closed coil helical springs and open coil helical spring. Okay. In the helical compression spring, they take axial compressive load and coils are separated from each other. They are used in clutches, brakes, and shock absorber. There are axial compressive load, and the coils are separated from each other. That means that the gap between the coils. Then helical tension spring means that takes axial tensile load. Here the load applied is tensile load, and the coils are closely to each other. There are used in spring loaders, safety valves, and spring balancers. That's the difference between helical compression spring means there's a gap between the coils, and the tension spring means there is a no gap. Okay. Then closed coil helical spring. The helix angle is less than 10 degree in the closed coil helical spring. The plane containing each coil is nearby perpendicular to axis of helix. Diagram shows this. This is a helix angle between two coils. The small gap between two adjacent coils. Okay. The helix angle is less than 10 degree. Then open coil helical spring. The helix angle is more than 10 degree. That means the large gap between the adjacent coils. Okay. That's a difference. The helical compression spring means here the helical compression spring, the axial compressive load is acted. The tension spring means the tensile load acted. Okay. Then closed coil helical spring, the helix angle is less than 10 degree. Then the open coil helical spring, that the gap between the coils and the helix angle is more than 10 degree. Then conical or valute spring, the circular or rectangular cross section, where from the frustrum of the cone shape, it has in cone shape, they are used in when increasing the spring rate of stiffness is decided with the load. Okay, it is in conical shape. In the volute springs are in conical shape. Then torsional spring. The spring is made of a flat strip wound in the form of spiral and loaded in the torsion. So here the torsional load is applied. So the torsion spring. So here the spring is used for the mechanical watches and the clockers. The spiral spring, otherwise helical torsion spring, also known as. Okay. The next one, leaf spring. The leaf spring is the semi-elliptical form. The diagram shows that the U-bolts, clamber, center bolt, the major leaf, extra full leaf means the first leaf. Then the leaves are decreasing in length. Then second leaves are known as graduated leaves. Then center bolt. This is a diagram of leaf spring. It is used in the four-wheeler vehicles. The leaf spring is a semi-elliptical form and consists of leaves held together by means of clamps and bolts. The springs may be carry lateral stroke, brake torque, driving torque, and additional to shock. These are used in. Okay. So this is the main diagram of the leaf spring. Here the springs may carry lateral load, brake torque, and driving torque. Okay. These are used in automobile suspension. So mainly it is used in automobiles. Okay, the leaf springs are mainly used in automobile. Then terms used in helical spring. These are the terms used. First one solid lung, free lung, and the spring index, and the spring rate, and pitch. These are the main terms used in helical spring. First one, solid length or height. That is the product of total number of coils and diameter of the wire. So solid length LS is equal to N dash into D, where N is the total number of coil and D is the diameter of the spring wire. This is a formula used to find the solid length. LS is equal to N dash into D. Second one, the free length. The length of the spring is free or unloaded time. The load length is known as free length. So LF is equal to solid length minus maximum deflection plus clearance between the adjacent coils. This is the formula. LF is equal to N dash into D plus delta max plus 0.15 delta max. This is the formula to find the free length of the spring. Then next one, spring index. The spring index is calculated by C is equal to capital D by D. Here capital D means mean coil diameter and small d means wire diameter. Okay. The ratio of mean diameter of the coil to the diameter of the spring wire is known as spring index. The formula used to determine the spring index is C is equal to capital D by D. Capital D, this is the capital D. The small d means wire diameter. This is the mean coil diameter. Then spring rate or stiffness or spring constant. So either it means says as spring rate, otherwise stiffness or string constant. The load required to per unit deflection of the spring. The load required to unit deflection of spring is known as spring rate. That's or stiffness. Stiffness is equal to load by deflection. The load required per unit deflection of the spring. So it is known as spring rate. Okay. Then pitch. The axial distance between the adjacent coils is known as the pitch. Pitch can be found out by the formula free length LF by N dash minus 1. Okay. Then materials for spring, the plain carbon steel, alloy steel and corrosion resistant steel, non-ferrous spring material, phosphor bronze, brass, nickel alloy and beryllium copper, the patent and cooled down drawn steels, and oil hardened and tempered spring steel wires. These are the materials used in the springs. Okay. Then design of helical springs. Okay. Design of helical springs. Here the helical spring is shown. The main terms used are here. The small d, then this pitch means distance between the adjacent coil, the mean coil diameter. Okay, the load applied. These are the main terms. So mean diameter of the spring coil, then diameter of spring wire, n equal number of active coil, G means modulus of rigidity, W is equal to axial load, then T means torsional twisting or shear, then C means spring index, P means pitch of the spring, deflection means axial deflection. Okay, these are the terms used. Then the applied axial load produces the twisting moment in the spring wire, compressing of the spring. Hence, the torsional shear stress induced in the spring. So, torsional shear stress can be calculated by the formula T is equal to W into D by 2 by equating torque and torque formula T equal to pi by 16 for circular section for torsion equation. We are equating the tau one we can formulated by 8 WOD by pi d. Okay, then deflection of compression, helical compression spring. The axial deflection of the spring can be determined by delta is equal to theta into d by 2. From the torsional equation, T by J is equal to G theta by L. So theta is equal to TL by Jg. And T is equal to W into d by, we know the formula. So L is equal to pi dn. So length of the coil. Then J, polar moment of inertia, pi by 30 d by. By the torsional equation, we can determine the deflection. Okay. And theta value, theta is equal to 16 W d square by n by G d power 4. It can be formulated. Then the springs volume can be calculated by the formula volume is equal to diameter into length. So sorry, area into length. Area is equal to pi by d square, then length equal to pi dA. Then when a load P falls on the spring through a height h, then the potential energy absorbed the spring is U is equal to P into h plus S into half into W under deflection. This is the formula. Then when the springs are connected in series, the deflection is equal to delta 1 plus delta L2. When the springs are in parallel, delta 1 is equal to delta 2. Delta 1 is equal to delta 2. So the load shared by the both springs are W1 plus W2. Okay, these are the main terms. Then methods of avoiding the tendency of buckling of compression spring. To avoid the tendency of buckling of spring can be avoided by the spring may be mounted on the center load or in tube. So by the spring is placed in the central tube, otherwise maybe central rod. In the shock absorber also, it is mounted in the central rod. So avoid the tendency of buckling of spring can be avoided. These are the methods used. When the spring is located in the tube, when the clearance between the tube walls and the spring should be kept as small as possible to allow the increase the diameter in the compression spring. Okay, when the spring is located in the tube, so the tendency of buckling has to be reduced. Then shear gene spring. When one end of the spring is resisting on the rigid surface and the load is suddenly applied on the other end, then all the coils of the spring will not suddenly deflect equally, sometimes required to propagate the stresses along the coils of spring. So when the suddenly applied load, the deflection along the coils are not uniform. Okay, that can be rectified by using the three method. By using spring in a high natural frequency to avoid the surge in spring, by using friction dampers to center coil. Center while we using the friction dampers. Then third one, by using the spring having pitch of coil near the end and different than the center to have the different natural frequencies. These are the three methods to avoid the surge in springs. Okay, already we see about the leaf spring. These are the main components: central bolt, U clamp, and rebound clips and camber. Okay, then main material used for leaf spring is oil hardened tempered alloy steel such as 50 CR1. Then 50 CR1 V23, 55 SA2, MN90. Then advantages of leaf spring. The leaf spring is act as a structural member rather than energy absorbing. So it's also a structural member. So it's a main support. Then second one, leaf spring can be take up the lateral loads, brake torque and driving torque also. Okay, these are the main advantage. Application of leaf springs are it is used in heavy loader truck, jeep and trailers and in machine to absorb the shock loads. So we are going to see a problem. A railway wagon moving at a velocity of 1.5 meter per second brought a rest by a bumper consisting of two helical springs attached in parallel. The mass of the wagon is 1500 kg. The springs are compressed by 150 mm in bringing the wagon to rest. Spring index can be taken as 6. The springs are made of oil hardened and tempered steel with the ultimate tensile strength of 1250 Newton per mm square and modular rigidity of 81,000 and 3,370 Newton per mm square. The permissible shear stress of the spring wire can be taken as 50% of the ultimate tensile strength. Design the spring and calculate wire diameter, mean coil diameter, number of active coil, total number of coils, solid length, free length, pitch, then required spring rate and actual spring rate. So first write the given data mass, then velocity delta c, g and tau. Take kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So kinetic energy is conducted. Then the strain energy absorbed is equal to 2 into half into ps. So we have determined in terms of p. So then equating to the both equation, we determine the value of p. Then tau also calculated. So okay, tau is equal to zero point 0.5 into SU. Then wall correction factor K. Then can calculated the by using the formula tau is equal to K into PC by pi d square. We have determined the value of D. Remaining values are known values. Okay. The tau value known, K known, P known, C known. Then we have easily determined the wire diameter. Then D is equal to C into D. So mean the coil diameter is calculated. Then number of coils can be calculated by using the deflection formula. So by using the deflection formula, find the number of coils is 12.5. So round up as 13 coils. Then total number of coils n t is equal to n plus 2. So 13 plus 2 is equal to 15. Then solid length by using the formula deflection is equal to 64 p d cube n by g d power 4. By using this formula, substitute the all values. Then assume the gap is 2 between adjacent coils. The spring is subjected to the maximum load. So we can determine by using the formula for free length, solid length plus total axial plus deflection. So is equal to 300 plus 28 plus 155 is equal to 483. Okay. Finally, we have determined the pitch. Direct substitution free length by nt minus 1. So free length and nt and minus 1. So we have determined the pitch. Then required stiffness is equal to load by deflection. So stiffness can be calculated. Then actual stiffness K is equal to G d power by 8 t cube n. Then feed all data and get the value of K is equal to 19.87 Newton per. So these are the things in design of springs. Okay, thank you.